Hello everyone. So this lesson today is coming from the state of North Carolina, which is the state right under Virginia. So this week we'll be talking about character traits. Every single one of you has a different set of character traits. Your parents have character traits, your friends, your classmates, the other teachers at our school have character traits. So character traits are something you use when you describe someone. So, to describe someone's character traits, you think about what they think, what that person says, how they feel, and different things that they do. So, for example, I'm going to describe Miss Newman, the other teacher in first grade. I would say Miss Newman is a very kind character. She's a very kind person and she's friendly. And I would also describe her character traits as adventurous because I know she loves going outside, loves going hiking, loves going on the mountains. She is very adventurous. So, here is a common character traits list as well. Some different words that you can describe characters as determined, friendly, brave, adventurous, energetic. Over here, you can say someone's thoughtful. Think about someone in class if they've ever done something nice for you. Maybe they got you a new sharpened pencil. Maybe they helped you with your work. You can also describe someone as shy, as clever if they're super smart, maybe lazy, or even silly are all character traits to describe different people. So, like I said before, when you want to talk about character traits, you think about what that person thinks, what they say, what they feel, and what they do. So, again, what they think, what they say, what they feel, and what they do. So today we're going to reread half of the book, Chrysanthemum. I've never read this several times in class. It's a pretty fun book. And then we're going to describe two of the main characters by describing their character traits. So while I'm reading, think about what Chrysanthemum thinks, says, feels, and does. And same with one of the characters, Victoria. We're going to describe both of them. So Chrysanthemum. The day she was born was the happiest day in her parents' lives. She's perfect, said her mother. Absolutely, said her father. And she was. She was absolutely perfect. Her name must be everything she is, said her mother. Her name must be absolutely perfect, said her father. And it was. Chrysanthemum. Her parents named her Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum grew and grew and grew, and when she was old enough to appreciate it, Chrysanthemum loved her name. She loved the way it sounded when her mother woke her up. She loved the way it sounded when her father called for her dinner. And she loved the way it sounded when she whispered it to herself in the bathroom mirror. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum loved the way her name looked when it was written with ink on the envelope. She even loved the way it looked when it was written with icing on a birthday cake. And she loved the way it looked when she wore it herself with her fat orange crayon. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. So I want you guys to take a couple seconds to think out loud to yourself right now or to a family member. How can you describe Chrysanthemum's character traits? How is she feeling? What is she thinking? What does she say or what does she do? How can you describe Chrysanthemum? Here are a list of words to help you describe her. Okay, I would describe Chrysanthemum as being confident. Remember, at the beginning of the story, it talked about how much she loved her name, how she was so happy, how she loved it written on an envelope or on a birthday cake. I would say that Chrysanthemum is a very confident character. Now let's keep reading to learn about Victoria's character traits. Chrysanthemum thought her name was absolutely perfect. And then she started school. On the first day, Chrysanthemum wore her sunniest dress and her brightest smile. She ran all the way. "Hooray!" said Chrysanthemum. "School!" But when Miss Chud took roll call, everyone giggled upon hearing Chrysanthemum's name. "It's so long," said Joe. "It barely fits on your name tag," said Rita, pointing. "I'm named after my grandmother," said Victoria. "You're named after a flower." Chrysanthemum wilted. She got sad. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect anymore. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. The rest of the day was not much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and informed Miss Chud that Chrysanthemum's name was spelled with 13 letters. "That's exactly half as many letters that are in the alphabet," Victoria explained. "Thank you for sharing that with us, Victoria. Now put your head down." Think about how Victoria is acting toward Chrysanthemum. What kind of character is she? "If I had a name like yours, I'd change it," Victoria said as the students lined up to go home. "I wish I could," thought Chrysanthemum. "Welcome home," said her mother. "Welcome home," said her father. "School is no place for me," said Chrysanthemum. "My name is too long. It barely fits on my name tag, and I'm named after a flower." "Oh, pish," said her mother. "Your name is beautiful and precious and priceless and fascinating and winsome," said her father. "It's everything you are," said her mother. "Absolutely perfect," said her father. Chrysanthemum felt much better after her favorite dinner, macaroni and cheese with ketchup, and an evening filled with hugs and kisses and parcheesi. That night, Chrysanthemum dreamed that her name was Jane. It was an extremely pleasant dream. The next morning, Chrysanthemum wore her most comfortable jumper. She walked to school as slowly as she could. She dragged her feet in the dirt. "Chrysanthemum, Chrysanthemum, Chrysanthemum," she wrote. "She even looks like a flower," said Victoria as Chrysanthemum entered the playground. "Let's pick her," said Rita, pointing. "Let's smell her," said Joe. Think, how are those other kids treating Chrysanthemum? Are they being nice to her? Are they being rude? The rest of the day was not much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and said, "A chrysanthemum is a flower. It lives in the garden with worms and other dirty things." "Thank you for sharing that with us, Victoria," said Miss Chud. "Now put your head down." "I just cannot believe your name," Victoria said as the students lined up to go home. "Neither can I," thought Chrysanthemum miserably. So now I'm going to give you guys a few seconds. I want you to talk out loud to yourself or a friend or family member. How can you describe Victoria's character traits? So think about, what was Victoria thinking in the story? What did she say? How did she feel and what did she do? How would you describe Victoria as a person? I'll give you a few minutes to share. Okay, well, I would definitely say that Victoria was pretty rude. She was saying mean things to Chrysanthemum, making fun of her name in front of the whole class, making fun of it, making her not feel good. So her character trait would be rude.